Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. By the way, speaking of next week, there's a spring blast on the way. In fact, it's going to feel wintry for some of you for a couple of days as that blast comes through, and we're going to cover that off in our update today. But we kick off with another Google Earth image. This one, can you guess where it's from? Don't worry, I'll tell you. It's Arthur's Pass. In the South Island, Arthur's Pass. You can see why it's called a pass. When you see what a deep valley that is, mountains on both sides of it, what a cool area. I actually don't think I've been through Arthur's Pass. I've driven almost to it. I'm not sure if I've actually been right through it, but it's a cool part of the country. I'm hoping to head down into this part of the world in November. We're going to keep bringing you these Google Earth images. There's just so many cool places that we see around the country, and so we just want to keep on sharing that with all of you. Let's kick off now with the animated wind map. So we've got a cold change coming through this week. Typical spring weather where it's mild one day and the next day windy and cold. And then the next day or two after that, we're back to subtropical again in some areas. So at the moment, for Thursday, there's the colder change. The north is mild to begin with, but cloudy. You'll find that change sweeping through over the next day or so, and the temperatures will drop. So on Thursday itself, Friday, my apologies. On Friday, the eastern side of the South Island will be colder than average. So around places like Canterbury, another cold day coming for you. In fact, your daytime highs will be in some areas single digits. So it won't be the warmest of days, but the best weather, you got to go through Arthur's Pass, go over to the west coast, because that will have the best weather in the country on Friday. Now the eastern side and the southern sides of the North Island will be wintry, cold southerlies and southeasterlies blowing through. They'll be quite fresh. There'll be hail showers, and there'll be snow flurries around Wellington down to 500 metres, and it'll be 600 metres further north. So just take care if you're driving on some of those higher up highways around Central Plateau. Not expecting it to be too much of a problem, but nonetheless, there could still be some snow. So that's as you go into the weekend, you're thinking, okay, winter's coming back, but by Saturday, there's going to be these mild winds coming out of Queensland and New South Wales drifting back down. So your temperatures warm up on Saturday, high pressure around. That means after the colder change, there might be some frosty areas when you first wake up on Saturday. Sunday's another fairly mild day across the country. Again, mild winds, subtropical, coming down into the South Island and into some North Island areas as well. Mostly dry for the North Island, but some rain returns to the West Coast, and there might actually be a little bit of spillover into Southland. Let's get into next week. So, high pressures dominating along these northern areas. Low pressure down here makes for an air pressure sandwich, and the filling is the windy westerlies, and that's what you've got right through here. So there's a chance next week of wind warnings and rain warnings as well on the west coast as those rain clouds build up. The wind warnings could really be anywhere in both islands, but most likely, I think, around the southern Alps. And then once we get into Tuesday, those winds ramp up even more. High pressure parked out here over Melbourne, stretching all the way to the Cook Islands, basically, and that puts a lid on the winds for northern areas, pushes back down on it, makes for very windy conditions, especially the South Island. So on Tuesday, there could be rain warnings, wind warnings, and snow warnings for the South Island as the spring surge of weather comes through. And our final map for the middle of next week shows this stormy system. By the way, 950 hectopascals, 960 hectopascals, 1030 hectopascals. That's a lot of air pressure difference. That's the reason why it is so windy. It is classic spring setup, and that's another cold day, another showery day around New Zealand. There could be some snow flurries around the central North Island mountains, maybe some hail showers here and there. However, by Thursday, Friday, that high's rolling in and these mild winds, they come back in again. That's all from me. Have a great day. We'll see you again on Friday with the latest as we head in towards the weekend.